Welcome back. It's the Well Child Show with KEMAK. If you're just tuning in, thank you for joining us. Before we went on the break, we were looking at the topic, prevention of child sexual abuse. As we all know, child sexual abuse is one of the most debilitating experiences that any child could go through. And I have with me in the studio, Bolaji Gbadamosi. She's one of Nigeria's foremost child protection advocates. Bolaji, before we went on the break, we were talking about the power play dynamic between sexual predators and children. And we want to help our parents understand how best they can equip their children and, empower them such that in the event that they may be prone to child sexual abuse, the children can protect themselves. And you mentioned the power play and the dynamic between sexual predators and children. Now, what advice do you have for parents who are watching on how they can, work on the psyche of their children to ensure that the children are not, victims of child sexual abuse?
I mean, the most important for parents really is to work on the self-esteem of their children. A child as young as one can boldly say, can be assertive. You can work on the assertiveness of your child. The self-esteem of a child is very important, because abusers will look first before praying. They will look at the parent that are not paying attention. They will look at the child that is weak. They will look at the child that is being talked on most of the time. They will look at the child that the parent is not always available and not always there. You can hardly find parents that are available and intentional. I mean, you can hardly find an abuser walking into that space.
Yeah, that's actually, I actually agree 100%.
You can actually. So it's very important that parents teach their children about assertiveness. I mean, when it starts from the house, it starts from when you go to the restaurant. Self-esteem. When you get to a restaurant, allow your child to demand, to make requests on the menu. It's like giving them the sense of play, like I can. Self-esteem works for everything in life, in a child's life. So a predator or an abuser that knows that this child is I cannot go near.
Oh, that's true.
So self-esteem, I would advise parents to go on, to work on the self-esteem of their children. If you find out that your child is shy, all this personality have where they can work. I'm not saying you should discourage those personality in your children, but at the same time, you let them understand. I just feel that a lot of parents are not teaching enough. They believe they are by telling them go and wash the plate. Those are physical things that will grow on a child.
Much more than emotional and mental.
Yeah, more than emotional. When they see you do all of this, then a child that have never swept before will take a broom and sweep. Even though they might not do it well, but because they are seeing maybe the nanny or the mom do it, it register. But a child that you've not taught out how to increase or how to build a great self-esteem in the child, it's not something they see on the floor.
So can we say that by parents giving children room to express themselves, express their displeasures, demand what they want, and it
has to be taught. What you don't teach a child won't know it. It's what they see on the internet that they are imbibing, because they are learning it.
Exactly.
So an abuse now doesn't have to be the physical abuse anymore. I was telling you that abuse by orientation. The internet is abusing children, and parents don't have an idea. Some do. But I'm of the opinion that what you don't teach a child, don't beat the child for it. If you teach her that, why did you allow it to happen to you? Did you even tell the child that? Some say, when a stranger comes to you, when he gives you sweet, don't collect sweet. You can't give my son sweet. Bring a PS4 to my son. He will follow you, of course.
Right, because that's what the child is supposed to.
So don't say that, when a stranger, we are moving past some things that we've known before, like, when a stranger comes to you and they open the car, the child doesn't have to be in that car before he's being abused. The child doesn't have to collect sweets. I mean, it can just, something that is missing in the child can be put into the child by the
predator, and it preys on that.
Preys on the
okay,
child.
now, very quickly, can you mention or can we enlighten our viewers on some signs that they can see in children that is a pointer to the fact that this child may be a victim of child sexual abuse? But before you say that, I need to inform our parents and our viewers. Some of the things that we're going to talk about today are just symptoms. These are not 100% certainty that a child that observes these traits are victims of child sexual abuse. They're just pointers to the parents that they should look further and pay more attention to the child. So very quickly, can you mention 2 or 3?
Yeah, I like that, because really, I mean, we don't want to get parent unnecessarily paranoid. But I would like to say something. The world we are in right now has put us where we are, I mean, suspicious of every child, everything around our children. So, and I put up a post on my page some times ago where a child was talking about, why do I have to suspect everybody? But I'm sorry, unfortunately, this is the world we are right now. So we have to live with it. So it's not like you said. So what I'm saying, what we are looking at, I mean, a child that just want to, isolate themselves unnecessarily, the parents should look into that. Then a child that, I mean, that is doing well in school and all of a sudden the grades are dropping. You know, there's something you need to look into. It might not be actual sexual abuse, but those are the things that you should look out for. I mean, there are a lot, but we can just deal with the 2
and
for
of
now.
course, children who at a certain age you become unusually conscious of being naked, or children who are seen playing with the delicate body parts in themselves and in others. These
and
are
sometimes when a child is complaining about infection, it might be toilet infection, but it's sometimes we just say, let me give you antibiotics, but take a bit further as a parent to check what it could be. It might be a toilet infection, but let us be intentional to look for what's happening.
Sadly, we are running out of time, but in wrapping up today's edition of the Well Child Show, we'd just like parents to understand your lines of communication with your children have to be intentionally and deliberately built. You must encourage your children to speak openly to you without fear and without let. The reason for this is research has shown most victims of child sexual abuse always keep quiet and do not express themselves. So this ability to speak up and talk about the things happening to them is actually one that is cultivated and groomed in the home. So please, we encourage you, allow your children the freedom to express themselves. Thank you so much for being a part of the Well Child Show today. You can follow us on our social media platforms popping up on the screen, on Instagram at the Well Child Show. On YouTube, you can watch repeat broadcasts of this show on YouTube at the Well Child Show with KEMAK. And to send us emails, questions and suggestions, kindly do so at info.wellchildshow@gmail.com. The Well Child Show is brought to you by Global Child Health and Safety Initiative. And like I always say, I need you to always remember, child health and safety is everybody's business. I'm KEMAK Onyenucheya, your host. I'll be back on the station next week Thursday at 4 p.m. Make it a date. Bye.